Alright guys, what's going on? It is your boy Eyes and BBL back with another video. Today we're going to be doing something different. On top of the PvP showcase today, we're going to go ahead and react to the one and only Goreshs top 10 unit video here. Have not seen it at all yet, so this will be an initial reaction. Probably not going to have too much of his audio in there unless there's like a placement that I want to get a lot of clarification on. So depending on that, we will either listen to what he has to say, or we'll just look at where he has the units placed. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look here at what Mr. Goreshs has cooked up for us here. So this is intro, where I think we can just organize it by chapters. Yep. Let's take a look at number 10 here. So number 10, we have Kid Buu. I think that I can see that. Kid Buu in the lower half of top 10 is definitely something that's possible. He's a very good unit right now. He has a lot of good Zenkai benches. He has a lot of good team options, a lot of good units to pair him with. You could probably run some sort of lineup with him in UG4 as well if you really wanted to, but that's not needed. Majin Saga is still a very competent team, and this Kid Buu is a big part of that. He has his endurance, which pairs well with the other units on the team. He does a lot of damage, as you guys probably see either in the upcoming showcases or in a couple of the ones that have already been out. You'll see that this couple of Kid Buus will probably do a lot of damage. I'll probably do a showcase on him myself as well. He's just an overall very well designed unit. Most of the anniversary Zenkais in general have just been very good. I would say Broly's a little underrated, but he's definitely not in the top 10. But Broly is still a very good Zenkai for the anniversary, so definitely not too opposed with Kid Buu at 10. I think that is fair. Ultra Gohan at 9, it looks like, is what we have. He's definitely in the lower half of the top 10 if he is even in the top 10. I think Gohan is just in a very weird place now. There is a lot of purples that are countering him. He has to deal with Ultra Gohan. He has to deal with UG4, obviously, UG4 being the major one. And he also has to deal with Ultra Golden Frieza being in the meta as well. So there's a lot of yellow units that are countering him. Gogeta Blue is also very common. He can just counter his gauge and also just tank a lot of his damage. And the other thing I think that's holding this Gohan back a lot right now is his team options. He doesn't really have a strong red to protect him. Beast Gohan is still usable, but he is definitely showing his age. And on top of the red to protect him, he also now he would be protecting the red. But I was saying the red to protect him from my Gogeta Blue is what I meant to say. Because Gogeta Blue is obviously a very big threat that can potentially screw over this Gohan as well on top of G4, and both are very common. But the main thing is a yellow hybrid to protect him. There just is not one that exists right now at all. The only options really is to get either a new unit or a really good yellow Zenkai like Yellow Rage Trunks or something. But even that might not be good enough. Trunks and Vegeta were a good attempt, I guess. But they just weren't getting enough to really put a dent in G4. G4 is just too good. But with the other units, it does help out. Trunks and Vegeta can help out a bit, but with G4, Trunks and Vegeta are kind of just dead weight. But I think the 9th placement is fair for this Gohan. I mean, honestly, I could even see him at 10. I feel like Kid Buu has a bigger impact on matches right now. This Gohan is just very hard to use right now in the current meta. So definitely in the bottom 10, maybe even lower than where Goreshs has him. 8 UI. We got a Zenless Zone 0 ad. Shout out to you guys if you guys are playing Zenless Zone 0. It's a pretty good game. Pretty good game. We have Ultra UI at number 8 for Goreshs. I see the concept. I definitely see the concept. He has the ability to snipe Gogeta. He has the ability to snipe Gohan and UGF. And he just does good blast damage. He fits in on the blast setups and all that. But I feel like the way that G4 works, he kind of just negates UI's whole concept of sniping with his gauge and his Rising Rush lock and just all the utility he has, being able to just one-shot UI, all those things. Then on top of that, you also have Gohan, who can just go neutral against UI's ult and eat it, or he can nullify his buffs, get rid of his endurance. No, there's just a lot of niche things that these units have. UGF obviously having a revive and then comes back and we can one-shot Goku with his ult. So I feel like I could definitely see UI's value, but I probably would have him even lower. I don't feel like he has a bigger impact on the matches right now than Kid Buu does, especially on Majin Buu Saga. but I can see the concept. Like, these units are definitely all in the bottom 10. I don't know if Goreshs is saying that they're all relative to each other, but if he is, I would definitely agree with that. The first 3 so far all look like they're in the bottom 10 relative to each other. 7 to 6 for Goreshs. We have Baby and UGF. I definitely agree with Ultra Golden Frieza. I think he should be up there. He has phenomenal amount of setups. He's a phenomenal unit. He does amazing things, and he just overall flows very well in the meta right now. Baby, I see the idea. I see the concept. He has the gauge interruption, which is very good. He's type advantage against Gogeta and a couple of the other purples. He has his ultra snipe. He has blue card damage. He has the tools. But for me personally, Baby just doesn't perform. Whenever I have tried to use him, I will do a showcase on him, and hopefully you guys will kind of see what I'm talking about. But for me, it could just be a star issue. My Baby is only 7 stars right now, but I do have him like pretty optimal equips and setup wise, and I just don't feel like Baby really puts up what I want him to put up, if that makes sense. I expect a lot more from him, especially from his strike cards, but it feels like unless his strike cards are critting, I'm kind of just screwed. And those are like my main gripes with Baby. He doesn't feel very defensively good either. Like, he has his healing, but if you don't get like good gauge uses out of him, he's kind of just cooked. And sometimes that can be very hard to do depending on the matchup and how the player plays, because everybody does play a lot more passive. But yeah, no, I mean, these are definitely all in that echelon of units. I would definitely say that Ultra Golden Frieza is the best out of the first 6 units here. The rest are all kind of relative to each other. I think Baby can be argued above everybody else. But other than that, I feel like they're all kind of in that area with each other. I could maybe see Kid Buu even here higher. I feel like he has a bigger impact on the matches than the units that are above him, especially on Majin Buu Saga. But overall, I see the vision. Now, CMZF5 is definitely something I would agree with. I think you can maybe argue him higher. And I'll get to that when we get to the rest of the list here. CMG, just phenomenal unit. You know, he has a lot of access to a lot of Zenkai buffs. He fits on a lot of teams. He has color synergy with UG4. He snipes Gogeta Blue. His ult's a nuke that basically one-shots most units. He has the green card for a pseudo lock-in as well as type neutral. Comes in, cover and ult, does a lot of damage, anti-Saiyan, which is also very common right now. So CMZ being in the top 5 definitely makes sense. I would maybe even argue at top 4. Speaking of top 4 and 3. Now here is where I would probably disagree. I don't think Gohan should be that high. Gohan is a very good unit, but I don't feel that with his current defenses, his current Zenkai buffs, and his current teams, he's at this level. I feel like CMZ is very clearly above Gohan right now. CMZ has a lot better Zenkai buffs, a lot better setups. He feels a lot more consistent performance-wise. Gohan can definitely out-damage him with the green card and the gauge and the cut pen and the ult snipe. Those are all very useful things, but I just don't feel like Gohan really has the setup right now to deal with the meta right now, where he's dealing with Gogeta Blue, he's dealing with UG4, he's dealing with UG4 ulting his team, and then all of a sudden somebody's dead, and it sometimes has to be Gohan. There's just no better options. So I think you could argue Gohan is a little lower, but I can also definitely see where he has placed Gohan. It's not an outlandish placement. Nothing so far in this list has really been outlandish. I guess the only thing would maybe for me just be Baby, just because he personally has not performed for me. But other than that, everything else was within the realm of where you would expect to see stuff. I do think Gogeta Blue and Super Vegito are interchangeable right now, but I would personally favor Gogeta Blue being higher in the position. I feel like he has a bigger impact on the meta right now, but I can definitely see Super Vegito's value as well. Being able to just completely get rid of one unit from the match is very good, but that is also kind of what you can do with GB depending on what the matchup is. Obviously, Super Vegito can do that regardless of matchup, but sometimes there is units that can just live his rush. Like if you get like a tanky G4 in front of it with neutral, he can live it. With advantage, he definitely lives it. But you do have to guess the rush, which is a risk you'll have to play. Obviously, you have this Gohan itself that can counter, and a couple other things as well. But if Gogeta Blue is here, I'm gonna assume Super Vegito is number 2, which would be correct. You can definitely see it. He's definitely in the top 3. I do just think he's interchangeable with Gogeta. Vegito, overall thoughts for him is just his defense has gotten a lot better because of the new equips he's gotten access to. His damage has also improved because of that as well, but his damage was always good. He ramps up very nicely. Defenses base are still pretty bad, but once he transforms, he gets in a pretty good spot. And other than that, not much to say. You know, guaranteed rush, guaranteed kill. That's pretty much it. He's just a solid unit. Very solid unit. Good placement. Again, I'd put Gogeta Blue here and have Vegito lower, but I'd have them as interchangeable. I wouldn't say the 4th unit is on par. I'd say 4th unit is in their own tier, but I'd say 2 and 3 are interchangeable between Gogeta and Vegito. And sorry, got a text message on this side that got me distracted. Final unit, obviously, Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. What is there to say about this unit? What does he not do? What does he not do? The ultimate's an absolutely ridiculous ability to have. His ult is practically a guaranteed rising rush. His gauge has insane utility, being able to stop rush for a little bit, as well as being able to counter ultimates, counter blue cards, regardless of the fact that they have cover null, which is the thing that makes it so insane. If you guys paid attention, Goku and Frieza had a similar thing where they can counter rush, but theirs specifically does get countered if you have cover null. Gogeta, they just said, nah, man. If you have your gauge, just come in and you get to just be the best unit in the game for free. And that was an insane thing. On that, coming in with 2 times card draw on entry with 10 counts of cover null, very solid base, very high base starting damage. I believe he has like 270-ish off the bat, which is very good. LMS, best unit of the game. I would say Gohan's LMS is better because Gohan has a lot more banish control to a degree, but you can also get a lot more value out of UG4's LMS if you have his gauge up. I think if your gauge has already been popped by the time you get him LMS, then Gohan's just uncontestably better. But if his gauge is still up, then he is just uncontestably the best unit in the game at LMS. Other than his ult, his blue restoring banish is also very useful and it's very good. Green card pseudo lock in, you can pair that really well with his ult. You get the opportunity and the lineup. But overall, not surprised to see that Gogeta 4 is #1. That's where he should be. He is the best unit of the game. And that is pretty much all of Goresh's list here. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at Goresh's Twitter. Let's take a look here. I believe Goreshs did just have the actual like top 10 image put up here. I should have had it pulled up before the video. Yeah, he has it right here. Overall thoughts, I don't think any of his placements are outlandish necessarily. I think all of them are pretty fitting of where they are. Only a couple subtle changes I would make would be Vegito and Gogeta being on par rather than Gohan. I'd move Gohan lower to 5 and have CMZ above him. I think CMZ does make top 4 right now. And then 6 and 7, I wouldn't even say is shared. I think UGF is comfortably 6 by himself. Baby is like the only placement I'm not sure about. I might have him just lower. But at the same time, I don't think either of these units is more valuable either. If anything, I'd move Kid Buu up above to where UI is, and then move Baby down by himself. And that's pretty much how I would modify this. Other than that, I mean, I think it's a pretty good list, honestly. It's one of the better ones Goreshs has made. And I think he pretty much nails the meta spot on for the most part here. Like, these are all pretty much the meta units. A couple outliers here that could be in like the top 15, top 20 units that you will also see. But for the most part, these are like the general units you will see in the top 10 currently. But pretty good list, Goreshs. Pretty good list from Goreshs here. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We do have our Discord up, which is where we did a little poll to decide if we wanted to cover Goresh's list first, or if we want to cover the JP list first. The vote ended up being for Goresh's list, which is why we ended up reacting to that one first, but we will also be reacting to the JP list, and someone is also suggesting to react to Dugo's list, so we will also be doing that in addition to a couple more PvP showcase that are going to be coming up. But with that being said, this is your boy Eyes signing out. Have a great rest of your day.